All right, guys, it must be Wednesday. Let's get this show going. Got to turn on your microphone when you do professional television. Let's go. All right, let's get your mics on. You guys ready? You've done this a million times. Let's get it going.
Lights.
Camera.
And action.
Have a great show, guys. Must be Wednesday. I'm Teacher Tony. This is BSA Live. We're really excited to have a small but intimate group, a lot of good friends, celebrities, and we have some returning. I noticed this must be a small budget show because I am actually wearing exactly what I had in the promo, if you guys are paying attention to small details. So we need a sponsor that sponsors suits, clothing, haircuts, hats, etc. I would love to say your name on the air. All right, guys. No, Dom's got the big bucks, big bucks, big bucks. All right, Dom, you ready to do some photo? Just show a couple photos, then we're gonna go into our celebrity guest today. We're gonna show some of his work. We're really happy to have
introductions too, or
we'll do that in a sec. I want to show some photos, then we'll do the introductions. So
sounds good. Let me open up the photos.
Dom is our stage director every week. The kids here, they build the openings, they build the middles, the clothing, the closing, they do all the stage direction, they do absolutely everything. I'm just sitting here calling the shots. So these are some of the movies I've worked on, some of the TV shows. A couple of the movies are in theaters right now. A couple of the TV shows are on the air right now. A couple of movies that we wrote that are coming up. A lot of cool stuff. So on your own time, just pause and you can look at some of this. Keep going, Dom. These are some of the show competition shows we have. Nashville's Next Best of Three is going into the second season. We auditioned out of here for a play, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. That's going to, we're going to have that on a live stage in October. That feature film Blood Pageant I produced, and I'm one of the actors in that with Snoop Dogg. We have the World Acting Academy Short Films Competition. So submit your short films to win. Keep going. And just some poster promos for the podcast I do. I do the Hollywood Review, where I get to interview a lot of cool celebrities. BSA-LIVE, which is this right here. Wealth Builders, where I get to talk to millionaires and billionaires and beg them for money. And then Let's Parlay, we talk to people from the inner city. We talk to the local community and just try to learn how to communicate without fighting. It's a wonderful podcast. That's every Tuesday. Some of my teachers, friends, and coaches that I've worked with. And we keep going. Keep going. Come on, Dommy Dom. There we go. These are some of my past students. As you can see, there is somebody might have won America's Got Talent. So his teacher was my student. So I say that's my grandbaby. So I'm really excited to say our lineage is going way out there and doing great things. There's Steven Spielberg with Avery. Avery just got $7,000 for a scholarship to be a director. He took my directing course. There's Izzy. And there's Michael Jackson with my client, Paris Hilton. I'm her DJ. As you see, there's a lot of celebrities here. Those are some TV shows on the right that the kids that were in class went off to do and became stars of their own TV series and shows and Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and on and on and on and on. You get the point. There's a bus Olivia got. She's one of my students and she has her own show called The Magicians on Sci-Fi now on Netflix. And she's got, her face on a bus. Keep going. This is for the child stars I work with. It's hard to be a child star and make the transition to adult actor. Sometimes the public thinks you are who that star represented, like Little House on the Prairie, and she had a really challenging time. I don't know, Bentley may know her as well. We'll talk to him in a minute. Keep going. Some more celebrities that were child stars that went off to become adult stars, and they talk about their transitions and how hard it is to make that jump. So we try to make it easier here at BSA. I have kids all the way from 5 all the way up to 80. And there's some other people you guys recognize. So keep going. We're almost done. There's Adam Sandler with little Ella's going to come back. There's her little model brother who's growing up way too fast. And keep going. We're almost done. There's Zach. Zach's actually he booked off this stage one of the main roles in that play, that Disney play. And so he's going to be performing with Ethan. You guys probably remember them in some of our former classes. So this stuff's actually working and they're booking gigs. And that was a movie I put him in. Okay, keep going. My typecast, bless you, mute your mic, bless you. We all have typecast. My typecast tends to be detectives, police officers, lawyers, presidents, military, cops, you get the point. That's kind of what I work as. So I'll be cutting my hair really, really soon because I have another role coming up. And so I have to go back to my typecast. So chopping off the locks. Some of you know I've grown my hair out during COVID.
Use the hat technique.
Yeah, that's going bye-bye. So it will be short like this.
You're out of the club, Tony.
Probably when you see me next. Let's keep going. And the rest are our show runs. So let's go back. Let's meet some of our guests, some of our students. At the top left on my screen is Dom, our stage director. How you doing, Dom?
I am doing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
You warmed up today, did you?
Well, I'm back in Minnesota, away from Michigan, so I'll be back there hopefully soon. It's better than another place on earth.
Do you have some work today?
I might have a cold read, and that's about all, along with some guitar and mandolin stuff.
Okay, and run our stage.
1-minute song.
Yeah, right. 2 to 3 minutes for Dom.
Oh, 3 minutes. Okay.
Maybe 3 if you're good.
I am good.
We might treat it like the Gong Show, and we might boo you like a gong, or we might add for more. So we'll see. Maybe we'll switch it up a little bit today. And if you guys know anything about the Apollo, they don't play. And if they don't like you, there's so maybe we'll add some Apollo love to you.
Well, everybody here likes me, so.
All right. Let's go to Soul. Soul's getting ready to go to Africa. He's got a TV deal, I think, in the works, and he's gonna go there. And why don't you share, Soul? What are you doing? What's the TV show about?
So 2 things. 2 things are in the works right now. 3 really. But as far as film and television, I do have a film that's the zeitgeist of modern times. It's the Anthony Bourdain, but of music. And I am going to Africa and exploring and exposing it to the Western world, the cradle of civilization, the echo of the modern sound from the beginning of time. And we're in the last week of pre-production. And we've gotten several offers from different production companies so far on that one. And it's brilliant. I mean, it's beautiful. The crew, everybody's just brilliant. So it's coming together really nicely. I have another TV show that I'm working on right now, or starting to film in September. I signed with Joe Blast, the producer of The Boondocks, for a TV show, a TV deal. And so it's highlighting my musical career. I just got signed with the subsidiary of Universal. My music's being distributed through Universal. And so we're assembling a band, a resurging acid jazz. We'll be flying out to Vegas, to DJ Fink's house, and performing with Jamiroquai and the brand new, the big groups like that in that style, and putting it on the show. So it'll be good.
Nice. Well, congratulations. You're a former student of BSA, so we're happy to see you go off and succeed. We're really proud of you. Keep letting us know what's going on and report back to us. And whenever we have links we can play, we'd be honored to play some stuff. I've been trying to play your pilot forever, but we're keeping it under wraps until you say go.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That's pretty amazing. All right, let's go to Big Play Ray from the NFL, now an actor. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Just excited again,
Yeah, so you said you were a quarterback in the NFL for the Saints?
Yeah, cornerback. Yeah.
Cornerback, yep. And so you've been on the field a couple times?
Yeah, for sure.
And you earned that title, Big Play Ray?
Exactly.
So what do you think of acting? Have you been bitten by the acting bug? Is it something you think you want to try?
I mean, it's a sport, and I fell in love with it. I'm seeing the more I put into it, the more I'm getting out of it. So I'm addicted.
Love it, love it. Well, we're watching you grow. You just started. You had 0 experience whatsoever. What, a month ago? Maybe 2 months ago? So yeah, you're coming a long way. Let's go to Kevin Gallagher. I went to school with Kevin at a school called Van Mar Academy of Motion Picture and Television Acting. And prior to that, we went to another school with Christina Farrah Gilmore, right? And that was called The Actor's Edge, I think, back in the day. And she is the writer and one of the directors of that movie with Snoop Dogg called Blood Pageant. And so she called me in to produce the film, being one of her former students. So you guys want to you always want your network going, because you never know. 20 years later, she called me and had me produce a $1.2 million film. So I did not know that call was coming, and it came. And now it's in movie theaters. So go check it out. I have a nice little role in that. Let's go to Lex. Lex is our celebrity guest coach today. We're honored to have him. We're going to show a couple of his links before we actually say hi to you, Lex. Let's show some of his stuff, Dom. And he's a voiceover specialist. He's an actor. He's a musician, as you can see. He's a good friend. He's been trained by Deepak Chopra, as Bentley always says. And he's going to tell us all about that in just a second. But we're going to see a little sample of his work when Dom cues video. Go.
Here they come, Hunley.
Hundley forgot today was the day they promised to take George out on their neat, orderly boat.
Your buddy George is coming aboard, Hunley. Okay, we're ready to set sail.
You could bring the volume down a little bit. I play the doorman, the guy, not this guy right here.
I'm getting it fixed tomorrow.
And the dog here too, Hundley. Just won an Emmy Award for this show.
Nice. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Good.
Look, Hunley, it's your buddy George.
Come on in, guys.
Thanks for letting Hunley spend the night while I'm gone. I brought all of his chew toys and snacks and grooming supplies. Thank you, Hunley. And this is a list of everything Hunley needs and when he needs it.
Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Dude, you can't win this.
Doom does not surrender.
Take it.
You are trespassing on Latverian soil. Leave. Now.
Why, Victor? What did you even want?
You do not even see what is happening here. This isn't over. I agree.
These are a couple different characters from the Legion of Superheroes show.
R.J. Brand.
Thank you, Senator Tole. Y'all know I made my fortune manufacturing stars, but no star of mine has ever shined as brightly as Cosmic Boy and...
I also play this guy, the villain.
Instead of thank you, Mr. Brand, perhaps you should be saying your goodbyes. Never send a boy to do a man's job. Ah, the ties that bind. Mr. Brand has a brief statement. Thank you, Doyle. I'm pleased to announce that my Unity tour was a success. Several key systems have reaffirmed their commitment to the United Planets. Looks like I owe you kids another one.
This is another one that won an Emmy Award.
Oh, yes, Dr.
I
Van.
play this professor.
Will be the envy of the Ancient Cultures Consortium. This mummy is guaranteed to put us in the big leagues. Oh, what's this? Who did this?
Maybe the mummy did it, Horace.
Very funny.
Ever think of using a weed whacker?
Rosalie! I wasn't expecting you until the 24th, and today is the 24th.
Don't bother to get up. I know my way around.
Rosa, what? Cleo loves it here. I can't get the girl out of the place. She practically begs me to let her work around here. So, how's this spot, Rosa? Do I look good?
Yes, Osiris. Ma'at, bring forth the feather of truth. It is too late to Tonkin Setamoon. We have ruled that you shall be punished for your sins. To the lake of fire.
You were at terminal velocity. That jump line you were using has no give. It would have sliced your fingers off or pulled your arms from their sockets.
That girl doesn't know that.
Don't call her that. Don't ever call her that again. Who are you?
Jeez Louise, is that a Cray mainframe?
I said, who are you?
What the heck did you bring me? Hey! Ow!
Watcher.
Going back out?
This city doesn't protect itself. I wouldn't grade you as high as my partner.
Yeah!
I don't think you passed.
I survived, didn't I?
That's not enough. You used lethal force against your last opponents. We don't do that. We don't kill even to defend ourselves.
What would that have proved?
Only that you could be one of us.
It wasn't a fair test. She didn't have any of the gear we use.
Then answer one question. Why?
Well, I
thought so. This isn't a game. Time to go home, little girl. Alfred, bring up the lights.
Alfred? Do I pass?
Will you swear an oath?
Anytime and anywhere.
Come with me. Commissioner, I'd like to introduce an associate. A new partner under my direct supervision.
All right, let's talk to Lex right now. Give him a big round of applause. If you guys want to see it in its entirety, we'll have Lex send you the link and we'll make sure you guys can watch the whole thing. There's so much work he's done. We couldn't possibly get it all in. Lex, thank you for being here at BSA-LIVE. So how did you get into voiceover work? What was the progress and the process?
Well, I was an actor for many, many years, first stage actor. And then I did some stand-up comedy. And then I went to the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles, where I studied guitar. And a director called the Musicians Institute and wanted a spokesperson or somebody from the school to come and show the actors how to look like they knew how to play the guitar, jump off the amps and do the windmills and all that stuff. And when I went there, oddly enough, I met Bentley, who's here today. And we were showing him how to play and showing the other actors how to play. And the director said, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to be an actor as well, would you?" And I said, I am, as a matter of fact. So he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you the part of the lead guitar player, and I'm going to make the guy who you're teaching the keyboard player instead." He still kept all his scenes or whatever. And they gave me a couple scenes that I was in with Bentley, and we became very close friends. And then eventually, after a couple of years of knowing each other, or maybe a little less, we became roommates. And Bentley is an on-camera actor, as many of you know, or if those of you who've seen him before know. Terrific, terrific actor. And he was doing a film in Vancouver called Susie Q with the girl that was opposed. I mean, his counterpart or whatever, his girlfriend in the film was a girl named Amy Jo Johnson. And she was the Pink Power Ranger at the time. So she was doing a lot of different projects. And one evening after they were done shooting, we went out. I think we had some sushi or something. We were coming back, and I was doing some of my stand-up routine where I do some impressions and things like that. And she said, "You'd make a great voice actor." And I really didn't know what it was. I was like, "You mean commercials?" She says, "No, there's so many things." But one of the things that she mentioned was something called a loop group. And that's after a film is cut together, all the close-ups and the long shots and all the various different angles of the shots are put together. They bring in a group of actors to be the background sounds. And she was working on the Power Rangers, so she introduced me to the producer of the Power Rangers and said, "I think this guy'd be a great addition to the loop group because he can do a variety of things." And so that was my start, is the loop group on the Power Rangers. And then from there, I did a couple of roles on the Power Rangers. I extended it. I created a little niche for myself because I could emulate other people's voices. I created a business card at the time that said voice match specialist. And I took it around to the editors of the different studios and said, "Hey, if you ever need to plug in a voice, if a celebrity can't make it in to, do their additional dialogue, just let me know. I'll come in and, do the temp stuff." So I started getting a pretty well known for being able to do that. And I was brought in on a number of films, and I started doing that. And then another Bentley connection was that we were at a wedding together up in Santa Barbara. I think it was either a cousin or Bentley, you might remember who it was, but it was somebody. We were playing a couple songs because at the time he and I were, we still are songwriting partners, but we had a band at that point, and we were playing a couple of songs. And I met a lady at the table. We became friends, and as it turns out, she was one of the greatest directors for animation for Warner Brothers. Her name is Andrea Romano. And so my name came across her desk with an audition, and she started casting me in the Western animation, like the Batman, Justice League, Legion of Superheroes, those kind of shows. And so I started doing those. And I also have the ability to make my voice sound like creatures and demons and things like that. And so I started doing a lot of major motion pictures, from dinosaurs and the Jurassic Park type movies. I did the last 4 Planet of the Apes movies, the primates in the background. I'm going to show right now called Doom Patrol as the candle maker, and I work on Legends of Tomorrow as doing alien voice for that one as well right now. And then because of all those different works, I'm also working with a lot of different loop groups, and I do a lot of voice replacement. Sometimes you'll get an actor and the director afterwards will say, "Oh my God, he looks great, but the acting kind of sucks." So we need to replace that actor right now. We need to replace his voice with someone who can act. So I get called in to do that often. And so I do a variety. Oh, and video games too. Over the years, I've been doing this 25 years. So the video games, I've been like major characters in a lot of video games. And there's also something called anime, which is popular. And I've been doing that for 20 years as well. So I've got a big pie of voice acting. Right. And so that's what I currently do right now.
And so we have a bunch of young actors that want to be voiceover actors. So we're really glad that you're here. They watch this show. The ones that aren't on, they actually watch this each week. Everyone's going back to school, so they're mixing their schedule up this week. But we'd always love to have you back when we have our bigger classes to oversee and work with the kids as well. So this is just more of an introduction for you into our group, and welcome. So it pays pretty well, right, to be a voiceover actor. Sometimes it can pay more than regular acting gigs.
Well, yeah, I'm in the Screen Actors Guild, and union pays a certain amount. I think it's right now a union job pays a little over $1,000 for.
Whoop, whoop. You hear that, Ray? we were saying $550 for actors, and he's already at $1,000. And if you get actors, a good gig,
whether you're an actor or a voice actor, it pays the same thing. The daily rate is $1,056 right now, I think.
Really? Now, wasn't it $550? I just did that feature film, and I paid everybody $550 a day.
Well, low budget and deferred payment. There's a lot of different tiers, but generally a regular film or a television show will pay like a standard day player contract. So
look at that. So how'd you like to come out of the gate swinging, Big Ray? $1,000 a day, work for 2 months. I think it pays better than the NFL pays, actually.
Yeah, no injuries, right?
No injuries,
well,
right?
You can have vocal injuries sometimes.
Yeah, take care of that voice, man.
You do a monster too, and you can definitely get a couple of voice injuries out of it. But and again, voice acting is something where you spend most of your time auditioning, and then the work is not. I mean, I would love it if it was work every single day. I would be sitting in a mansion right now. But it's more about the continuing to study the craft and continuing to audition every day. And I have an agent, and it's a reputable agent, so I get like all the mainstream auditions, and so. Maybe 1 out of every 150 auditions I'll land.
Right.
And that might be 10 or 12 sessions out of that one.
Right. I love it. I've actually, I produced a movie with Nancy Cartwright. She's the voice of Bart Simpson. And she took me out to lunch, and I said, I'm going to close my eyes, Nancy. Do you mind? She's like, everyone does it. And I had lunch with Bart Simpson. How cool is that, right? So we fall in love with these characters you guys create out of nothing. I mean, you bring the same background we do for acting. You approach it like an acting gig, and then you add your own special flair, but you create characters that don't exist on the planet, and then we fall in love with them. So I love voiceover work. We're glad you're here, and you can share your wisdom because you are an actor as a voiceover actor and an in-person on-camera actor as well. So you have a lot to offer our young actors here. We're going to go to Theron. Theron has a couple links that Dom got just recently. He comes from the NFL. He's a filmmaker. And we're going to show some of the work that he did for, I think this is from the NFL. So we're going to show, he's got some TV shows on the air right now. So Theron's coming up next. Go ahead. Cue video.
today, be ready for field pressure. Let me get Team Allen over here, Team Belton over here. I need one piece of paper for the team. Gun, dual right fin, 22 scat, Y loop, X smash. 1 minute. Gun, dual right fin, 22 scat, Y loop, X smash.
Oh, I got this one.
Okay.
On that, and I'll get it flat smash.
God.
They put the motion in.
Yeah, they put the motion in.
I've been blessed. I've got a really good group of guys, not just good group of football players, but good people. They care about each other. They care about this program. They care about this community. They care about getting better.
Think about this. If every great back in the country was at practice today, would you stand out?
They care about going on the field every day and trying to be the best group on the field.
Got me mic'd up today. Should be a good day. Might have fun with it.
White 7! Set!
Yeah, we're all tight, you know, we help coach each other, we help get each other get better, we push each other, we strive to be the best group on the field, and, you know, by sticking together, we're able to do that.
Good, drive your knees up, drive your knees up.
I tell the guys you got to be yourself. You got to be able to work within our scheme, but use your abilities to make your plays and yourself better.
Take pride in the way you carry the ball. Starts in practice, not on Saturday. Like Coach said, 17 days. It's going to be here before you know it. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's have a big round of applause for Theron. So Theron's a filmmaker. Let's see. I don't know if you're driving, Theron, but I don't know if you could turn on your mic. So be safe while you're driving, brother. But I've had the pleasure of meeting you at our Parlay podcast. Let's talk about how you got into filmmaking and where you want to go next.
Yeah, sure. Again, nice meeting everybody here. Thank you for having me again. So yeah, like how I got into filmmaking, I would say that I graduated from high school in 2011 from Cheltenham High School. So I live in Philadelphia, and Cheltenham is a small suburban school in Wyncote. And I would say that basically it just kind of started with one day I used to always watch what's called America's Games. So NFL Films would produce these segments where an NFL team would win a championship game, like a Super Bowl, and then they would like do a special like segment on them. And I think what year was it? I think was it the year 2000? I think it was it 2000 or 2001 where the Baltimore Ravens won. And Ray Lewis was like pretty much in charge of the head of that cap. They had like what was his name? Jamal Lewis was one of the running backs, and then they I can't remember the quarterback at the time being. I'm drawing a blank, but I used to watch that all the time, and basically I was like, you know what, that's what I want to do, and I wanted to always get into documentary sports telling. So I always knew that I wanted to go to Penn State, and basically when I got to Penn State University, I graduated in 2015. I had the pleasure of actually working with the football team, and I was actually a cinematographer and a video editor. So this was like an internship opportunity, and basically I worked on that video that you guys just saw with the running backs, and then I also did the inside training camp linebacker special. So those two projects I hold dear to me. Like I always show people those two pieces because those were like pretty much one of my most standout work. Right, and then basically thank you. And then basically after I graduated from Penn State, as I was explaining to you and Ray, like I earned a position at NFL Films basically as a seasonal logger. So I didn't have the opportunity yet to become a cinematographer shooting on the football field yet on a professional level. I've only shot college games, and that's what I'm like working on doing. So like I have aspirations again to, get a job working for any of the 32 NFL club teams and be on the field recording like the game days and putting together nice little highlight reels for them. Or, if I can leave Philadelphia and get into California, I would definitely love to explore the Hollywood scene and get into television and movie production. So that's basically kind of what my two interests are. But that's in a long story in a nutshell. That's kind of how I got into filmmaking, and that's basically where I am at today.
Right, and that's why we're having you on here. We have some writers that are doing the same thing, and Bentley is a director, he's an actor, he's a producer, he actually holds the camera, he's a cinematographer, he does it all. He comes from a very family that's been in the business a long time, just to put it simply, and so he and I are hoping to work on something, and we'll be looking at some DPs. And Cindy, my girlfriend's over at Viacom, she's a showrunner, so we're doing a sports division at a new network that she's launching with them. So there's a lot of opportunities, you guys. We don't just look at actors, we look at writers, producers, director, casting directors, everything. And so when you guys come to this link, right, you come to this stage that we showcase, we send it to the people in the industry. And like I say every week, last term, every single one of those students went off to get agents, managers, and paid gigs in Hollywood. Every single one without exception. And so I'm very honored to say we hope to do the same thing with our 2021 class and then 22. So with that being said, I don't know, Bentley, are you able to talk? I know you're driving as well.
Yeah, I can say hey.
Hey, so Bentley, talk about some of the projects you're going to do, we hope to work on, and then share. I've seen some photos you're posting on social media with your grandpa, your dad, and your mom. What was that? That was pretty awesome.
Some projects I'm doing right now. I'm mainly focusing on music. I've been doing a lot of writing music in the past 2 years, and as Lex mentioned, we are writing partners, and we've been doing a lot of the music together. So that's one of the things. I also have some ideas for projects that I've pitched to you that you've taken to some of your people that as they have their availability, we'll see how that unfolds. Some feature stuff and some actual live showcase type events where we would have someone up on stage and have an evening with so-and-so kind of thing that could also be filmed as content. The thing that I put up on Instagram that you're referring to was a series I did, and I found out it's no longer on Netflix, but I thought it was. It was on yesterday. I guess I took it off over the past day or two. But it was a Western I did series, and I played a character named Nick Mason or Dirk Mason or something. I can't remember what it is. But 78 years ago, my granddad's very first film was a Hopalong Cassidy film, and he played a character with the same exact name, and it was a Western. So I thought it was just fun to throw the two movies up there and the two characters up there. So
you got to act with your whole family, right? I mean, didn't you put your mom, your grandma, your grandpa, your dad, at least?
My very first project, which is how I got my Taft-Hartley SAG card, was a movie of the week. We had movies of the week back then in the 80s. Right. Was a fictional family, grandfather, son, and grandson. And so they cast my grandfather, my father, and me as the fictional family. So it was a real 3 generations playing a fake 3 generations. And that was the main cast. I did get, I think, my mom and my sister in it as kind of like featured extras. But the people who played my mom and grandmom in the film were actually actors. And that's what that.
Well, we're always happy when you show up. I know we're starting the World Acting Academy on Thursdays, and so we've spun a bunch of the students over there. That's more of a global school, Spanish speaking, Romanian speaking, Russian, on and on, German, French, and so that's more of a world type acting school, and it's a whole new experiment that we're doing. This is we're getting.
I'll jump in.
What's that?
I said I'll jump on and check it out. If that's all right.
We'd love to have anyone that's here is more than welcome to join us on Thursdays. I'll send you the link. But yeah, we're really excited to have you guys here. We're wrapping up our 2021 season. Kids are going into school to start the next season. So the second semester, and then we'll get into 2022. Should be some pretty interesting stuff. But as we wrap up this, we just finished the poetry month where kids were learning to connect emotionally with their own writing. Prior to that, we had game night where Dom had some really cool games that he created in a big spinning wheel and a lot of improv games to teach kids how to just think in the moment on their feet. prior to that, we obviously had, our 16-step breakdown and our comedic rules. This month, we're trying to get into stand-up comedy, and Big Ray took a stab at it the last couple of weeks, and I think he's still standing. He wants to try it again soon, maybe not this week, but we're going to start working on the foundation of stand-up comedy. And I know Lex mentioned he did stand-up, so it'd be great to have you back when we get deeper into that. Maybe you could share with the kids on the proper way to approach stand-up comedy. It's a different animal. It's not the same thing as dramatic acting, but there's still elements of acting's acting, but there's different rules and tools that we use. And like if you're a voiceover specialist, auditioning is a different animal sometimes too. For some people are better auditioners. Some people are horrible auditioners and great actors. So we'll talk about that as we progress through the next few weeks. So we have a short class today. We have Kevin, Sol, Ray, and Dom that are going to perform today. So we've got about, 20 minutes. Maybe we ran a little late before we started. So about 20 minutes. So it's about 5 minutes each, guys. And then our celebrity coaches here are going to critique you, kind of like an American Idol, what they thought, what we could do better, and whether they'd give you the callback or not, or the golden buzzer to Hollywood. Okay. So that's kind of a little game version of what we do here at BSA Live. So first we're going to go to Kevin Gallagher. Kevin Gallagher is, like I said, he and I went to school together, and I really enjoy him being here. He's my comedic relief with his backgrounds. And he's a voiceover specialist as well. But today he's going to do a monologue for us. So Kevin, what are you doing today? You're on mute. Unmute. There you go.
Yes, I'm going to do a scene from Austin Powers as Fat Bastard.
All right. Do you need any setup for it, or we just put you on the spotlight?
Give me just a second here.
All right. We have the students warm up, so you guys prepare while he's preparing as well. The next person to go up would be Big Play Ray, and then I'm going to have Dom, and then Sol's going to, I think he's going to sing for us. So, and then Dom will wrap up the show. So Kevin has the spotlight stage. Take it away whenever you're ready, sir. The stage is yours. Big round of applause for KG.
I need well, we don't have any women, and I need a woman for this. So someone say this in a high squeaky voice.
Dom's got long hair. He can do it.
Okay, I need a woman's voice to ask me if I'm, but are you happy? That's what she's got. Okay.
Gotta unmute. Yeah, unmute, Dom. There you go. You guys let's put you in the spotlight too, Dom. I want to see your beautiful, glowing, flowing hair.
My luxuriously long hair.
Commit to your character. Commit to it. Here we go. And action.
Does it start off with me? But are you happy?
I'm not happy. Of course I'm not happy. I mean, look at me. I'm a big fat slob. I got bigger titties than you do. I got more chins than a Chinese phone book. And they seen my willy in 2 years, which is long enough to declare it legally dead. I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat. It's a vicious cycle. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's someone I need to get in touch with and forgive. So, sorry, I farted. Who am I kidding? I'm gonna kill you anyway.
Is that it, Kev? All right, big round of applause. All right, let's get Dom out of there. I was hoping you were going to jump in and out, Dom, but that's all good. So, Kev, how do you feel? Because this was a cold read for you. It's not obviously not memorized, no?
Half and half. I kept it by just to remind me in case
Now, we always say, we use the script becomes a crutch. And so my theater teacher used to grab my script and he would throw it across the room. He says, this. So I'm going to reach through the computer. I'm going to grab your script and I'm going to throw it. And just, the through line, your intention, what you're trying to accomplish. Don't worry about being word perfect. I don't know your lines. Commit to your choices and connect with us at this thing right there, that little computer. Connect with your audience and let's have him by himself, Dom. And do you need the feeder line, Kev? Can you do it without the feeder?
Okay, I'll do it without it.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in the spotlight by yourself and really commit to your choices and connect with us. Whoever you're talking to, we're on the other side of this computer. And whenever you're ready, action.
I'm not happy. Of course I'm not happy. I mean, look at me. I'm a big fat slob. I got bigger titties than you do. I got more chins than a Chinese phone book. I ain't seen my willy in 2 years, which is long enough to declare it legally dead. I can't stop eating. I eat because I'm unhappy. And I'm unhappy because I eat. It's a vicious cycle. Now, if you'll forgive me, there's someone I need to get in touch with and forgive myself. Sorry, I farted. Who am I gonna kid? I'm gonna kill you anyway.
Kevin Gallagher. All right, let's bring in Bentley first, and I'm going to bring in Lex. So Bentley, you have any comments on what you witnessed? And okay, Bentley's driving, so we're going to deal with that. Let's bring Lex in. So Lex was a stand-up comedian. He's an actor, and he does voiceover work. And so, and you're going to bump me out, Dom. Just talk as freely as you would as if he was your student.
Yes, I thought you connected a lot more with it after you weren't using the crutch of the script. It was nice to see that change. Doing comedy stuff of well-known things, doing monologues of well-known characters is sometimes difficult because the people who are listening or watching have to kind of get out of the way what they remember of that character. Sometimes you can have like an instant comparison. Coffees for Closers is a good example of that, but it's great scene nonetheless. Yeah, I think this is my first time at this class, so I'm kind of trying to just take it all in to see the variety of different performances and things. I thought that it was, when you got in touch with some of those like more tender moments, I could feel it get a little more real, but again, you're doing like a pretty broad comedic character. So, those are things to consider. You can almost do that monologue and try to make it really realistic as opposed to like the broad comedy side of it, and, change it up in a way where it's a little more heartfelt, and then maybe make the last change at the end. Of course, I'm still going to eat you or kill you or whatever. That might be an interesting way to work that scene a little bit as well. But overall, really good job. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lex. I appreciate you.
Hey, Tony,
I have a second.
That's quite a compliment. Thank you.
We're going to bring Bentley in. Thank you, Lex. Let's get Bentley in. Get me out.
I just have a quick comment because I'm not able to give the focus I want to it. But my initial thought was, I felt that because it is a character that's already been done, I felt that it was almost an imitation of, or an impression of Fat Bastard. And I would love to see what he does if he made it 100% his own. We've already seen Fat Bastard. What can he bring to it? What can he do different about it? And bring his work to it instead of an imitation or an impression of somebody else's work. that's my general thought on it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So Kevin, would you be willing to work on making it more your own and bringing it back next week?
Not sure exactly what you're saying. Do you want me to do it without a Scottish brogue or I don't know.
Well, I think that the accent's the last thing that goes on when you're doing a character.
Right.
And so I wonder, I would love to see what you do like without the accent, and if it was you playing this role, and what would you bring to it, and then at the end throw the accent on top of that. Because what it sounded like to me, and the pieces I got to see of it, it was very like identical to Fat Bastard. It was like the work. It was almost like the work that Mike Myers did for that character. Does that make sense? No.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like I'd have to quit being Fat Bastard and be myself. And if I did it as myself, it would become a drama, I would think. I'm not sure.
Well,
yeah,
I suppose. I mean, if I was doing a monologue from Ace Ventura, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, alrighty then. Is your number still 911?" I'm doing Jim Carrey.
Right.
What do I bring to Ace Ventura? You see the difference?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I have to think about.
I'd like to see your comedy.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is if you were cast in that role and there was no other actor who'd played it before, how would you play those same beats of comedy? How would you play it? So
would he still be a fat Scotsman, or?
Yeah, you got cast as the fat Scotsman. He's enormous. You're in the fat suit and the whole thing. And what would your interpretation of it be? Not Mike Myers' interpretation of it. And you were doing a little bit of that. That's when I was saying, like, when you were getting like in touch with the softer sides of it, when you were saying, I'm upset because I eat, and I eat because I'm upset, or whatever the lines were there. You were getting a little more in touch with your own emotional content there, as opposed to like what Mike Myers was doing. But when you got into the bigger stuff, it's got more chins than a phone book, that was kind of playing on the caricature that Mike Myers established. So I think what Bentley's saying, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Bentley, is like, imagine that film hadn't been done and you're auditioning for this role as a fat bastard, and like, where would you take it? Like, what are the different levels, the different beats, the different comedic styles that you might drop in that were unique to you, your performance?
Yes, Lex is saying what I was having trouble saying, and he said it more eloquently than I did. So thank you, Lex.
So Kevin, what we're going to do is, Kevin, you and I can work on it in a private class together, and then we'll just experiment. And then when you feel it's ready, we'll represent it. We'll represent it. Now, what you did, you're great at doing. Like, you'd be a great voiceover actor. You should talk to Lex about trying to find a way into that world. It pays pretty well. It's hard to get into. It's in a very exclusive group, but you never know. Things happen. So
there's a website called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com that a very prolific voice actor named D. Baker put together. And it lays out for you the roadmap and tools to use and monologues to practice and all sorts of techniques and links. And if you're interested in becoming a voice actor professionally, that is absolutely the place to start. iwanttobeavoiceactor.com. So check that out.
There you go. And those people listening, go there as well.
I started teaching myself dialects when I was 8 years old, and John F. Kennedy was president. And I loved the way he spoke. And I had a lot of time on my hands. I didn't have many people that lived near me, and I just would go off by myself, repeating to myself and trying, hearing it in my head. And pretty soon I'd go up to my mother and say, well, let me say this about that, and I'd start cracking her up. And once I started getting laughs, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I started teaching myself dialects one after another after that. And so that's why I know them. I never was taught anything.
Yeah.
I just figured it out.
Well, you have a bright career if you choose to go down that path, and you know the right people now. So I've always wanted to.
I've always wanted to, and tried to. I took a class over at Actors Edge, but I never got anywhere with that.
Yeah, well, I'll help you, Kev. We'll do it in our private classes, and we'll get you ready, and then we'll bring you back to showcase. So, all right, let's do a big round of applause for KG, first time performing here at BSA-LIVE as his own piece. I'm very happy we kind of got you back on stage. So I've been trying to get you on stage forever. So I'm glad you're back, Kev. All right, let's go to Big Play Ray. Big Play Ray, he has a scene that he's supposed to do with his scene partner, but his scene partner couldn't make it. So I don't know, Soul, do you want to cold read, be the reader as if this was a casting session, and Big Play is going to audition this piece he's been working on. So let's bring in Ray, and let's bring in Coleman. And Coleman, I'm throwing you under the bus. I'm going to give you some lines, and you are going to say these lines. So Big Play Ray, let's type these lines in the chat. And while we're doing that, I'm going to have Dom prepare. Dom, what are you doing for us today?
I got a cold read that I did a while back, a scene I've done a long time ago, I've done it recently, and some music.
Okay, so I want you to go now with one of yours. Ray, I want you to type your lines into the chat for Soul. Okay, so let's bring Big Dom in while we're getting the lines. You're going to be a reader, Soul, so just do what a reader would do in an audition. And it's all about Big Play Ray. So let's get these two out. Let's get Dom in. And I know you're running the show and you're going to perform. So you're doing a less than 3-minute monologue, yes?
I'm going to do the potato peeler, but I don't have any potato peeler, so I'm just going to have to mix it up a little bit.
Okay. And remember what we talk about. Real commitment.
Yes.
We're not doing caricatures. We just talked about that. We're doing real commitment. Okay.
So I have the script in front of me, but I'm probably not going to need it because that's in my head. But
I'm grabbing the script through the screen and I'm throwing it into the audience. Improv.
Okay. Script is gone.
All right. Good job. You guys got to get rid of those scripts. You got to trust yourself. Trust the process. You did the work. Just let it out. All right. Whenever you're ready, Dom, I'll shut up.
Look at me. Do you see me? No. All that you see is my money. I work all day long for my money. I work hard. But you just think you can sit around and take it like I'm some sort of golden goose that craps out golden eggs. Well, I'm not going to take it anymore. I ain't going to have any more of this. You buy so many worthless things with all my money. I mean, look at this. 50 keyboards. Who needs 50 keyboards? Tell me that. 30 useless iPhone 6s that are dying. You got lamination sheets. You got a little bird. But worst of all, is the Carmex. You bought 2,000 of these little containers of Carmex. For what? I don't know. What are you going to do? Give them to the world? Give them to yourself? What? It's just Carmex. You can't throw a Carmex lit party or something. Okay, you know what? You're just going to put these on the shelf and I'm just going to have to clean them up like I always do. Okay, and I am through with it. Taking all the crap you put on the shelves and throwing it into the garbage while you sit there on your butt and do nothing. Yes, I throw everything away. What do you think? Why do you think that our house hasn't become a complete hoarder's house? Oh, so now I'm the one wasting money because I'm throwing away stuff. Oh, you're done, buddy. You're done.
Let's go to a group view real quick, the whole group. Yeah. I want you to see the round of applause. We've been working on you. We've been working on you to get out of being conservative and out of attached to that script and not playing over the scene. Like we tend to see you comment on the scene while you're doing the scene, right? Like in SNL, we see the characters break character and we like that in SNL. But if you're going to do a feature film, you can't do that. You have to do the things that we're hearing Lex and Bentley talk about. So let's go to Lex real quick. We'll bring Lex in with you. And again, we've been working on just, I say as a director to Dom, bigger, but Bentley as a coach tells him to find the reason for it. But I still see Dom as a Jim Carrey. I see him as a Christopher Winters. I see him as a John Belushi. I mean, you get where I'm going, right? Chris Farley. That's what I see Dom as. But Lex, let's bring him in real quick.
Hey, Dom, nice job. Nice job. What I would suggest, as a constructive criticism, perhaps, is you've got the broad stuff covered, but what I'd like to see is to get some more, like to see it internalize a little bit, like I think what Tony was just saying, Bentley said like he'd like to see the motivation for the behaviors. I'd like to see it like the seed of it evolve as you're doing it, as opposed to just sort of like hitting a clip and staying at that note for the monologue. I'd like to see have some variety in the emotional content, like take it down a little bit, like talking about the karmics. Oh, instead of being big the whole time, just be like, let it go inward. Because you, as a film actor, the little nuances that you have, your eye movements, the emotions behind the eyes, just your facial expressions, those kind of things, those are going to play really strongly. And if you play them too broadly, then they're going to come off as over rehearsed or too broad. So it's good to get the essence of what your performance is going to be, but then bring it in and, laser focus it inward, and then you'll still get the intensity without the, over the top sense that's happening. But yeah, it was good content. And I think that if you work that just a little bit, I mean, I don't know how much of that was improvised, but if
almost all of it,
if all of it was improvised, you could even take that content and work it, write it down, outline it in some form, and then figure out what the beats are for the different emotional things.
Yeah, it's something that I wrote a while back, and it was meant to be a potato peeler and a bunch of different other stuff. But then I went ahead and Tony told me not to use a script, so I didn't
substituting. Yeah. That was good though. Because I think you can also have some change ups in the emotional content. Like you could be surprised and then hurt and then admonished and then be sarcastic, and there's a lot of variety that particular piece could hold in it. And so take advantage of that stuff as opposed to being too broad or too, I won't call it one note, because it wasn't one note. You had a lot of variety in there, but try to finesse the different beats, I guess I would say.
Okay.
Thank you, Lex. Bentley, you're more than welcome to share if you're busy. Okay.
No, I can jump on for a second. Domenic, that was good, man. I've seen you over the weeks, and I think last week I think it was Amra who mentioned like look into the camera and connect with us more, and you definitely did that. So you took that note, and that was good. I want to build a little bit on what Lex was saying, because I think that Lex is right on what he's saying. But I have to ask you like one or two questions first. You said you wrote this. What is your character? What is his job?
So the character's job is basically a desk job, and they sit all day making all this money.
And who is he talking to?
He's talking to his wife.
His wife?
Yes.
Okay. So what I usually go back to is objective. What are you doing in this scene with your wife? What do you need from her? And that is the direction where you need to take this scene. That's what you're going after in this scene. And what Lex was talking about in the different beats, so you can break it up into, I'm going to give you an analogy, okay? If the scene is written where my character is borrowing money from my dad, my objective is not to borrow money. Okay, my objective is not to get money from my dad. That's not a human level, something that the audience can grab onto. What I need to do is find out what the human need is underneath that this scene is about, because otherwise people are going to watch me perform it. Some people may never have had to borrow money in their life, and they're not going to relate to my character in a subconscious way. So you want to find a human level. So in that analogy, if the scene's about borrowing money from your dad, you might say, I need my dad to prove he loves me. How's it going to happen? He's going to give you money. Okay. Now, everyone can relate to that in some way or another. They have a significant other, a brother, a mother, a father, a girlfriend, whoever, someone that they want to show loves them or proves they love them. So now you're dealing on a human level that as an audience, we can jump onto and root for you. So once you have your objective down, break your scene up into sections. On this section, in this analogy, on this section, I'm going to show my dad how smart I am. In this section, I'm going to make my dad see how hurt I am that he's not giving me the attention I want. On this section, I'm going to make my dad feel proud of me. And you're going to go after certain things in each beat. And if you're going after those things strongly in each beat, and they're all supporting your objective, it's going to layer it in different, it's going to make your performance not going after one beat the whole time. The other thing I would suggest is personalize everything you're talking about. Again, you're talking about the Carmex. I'm sure that to you, Dom, Carmex doesn't mean shit. So what are you actually talking about? All you're doing is looking at me for money. Do you relate to that? Do people look at you for money? No. What do they look at Dom as? And start coloring these things into what they are in Dom's life so that they are personal to you. So this scene is now a personal scene about things in Dom's life, getting someone to prove they love you, for example. It's not about you chastising someone for buying crap. Okay. Now, when you get it to that level, we're going to start rooting for you, and it's going to be funny or sad or whatever the type of scene it is. We're going to get invested as an audience watching you. That would be my advice. Figure out your objective, break it into beats, and personalize what each person, place, or thing is in that scene. Any noun, person, place, or thing, what does it mean to you in your life? And that would be my because I think on the surface, your work was really good, but I think now we're getting the details of how to make it phenomenal and great. Okay. That's how I would approach it at this point.
Thank you, Bentley. Appreciate you guys. So you got a lot of information from Lex and Bentley to work on, and we'll have you come back next week. He's also our stage director. He's juggling a lot of balls. I'm really honored that he does, and he's helping grow the show with me. And we're just going to see where you're going to go. But I see a bright future, Dom. I really do. I see it in you, and it's slowly coming out. And pretty soon, there's just going to be those light bulbs that go off. Somebody's going to say something, or you're going to find something, a happy accident on stage, and you're going to go, oh, why didn't I do that?
And that's when the switch is just going to flip.
All right. You're such a nerd.
I've been holding on to this, waiting to use this all night. I'm so glad that this is perfect.
You found the moment. All right, Dom. So now we're going to bring in Soul. We're going to bring in Big Play Ray. Big Play's been working this week on cold reading. And so I told him to take my cold reading class. So he's not going to get lost in the paper, even though he's got to have the paper because it's a cold read. And so Soul has got lines that are over in our chat, and Soul is just going to feed the lines to Ray. And Ray, we're going to be watching Ray. But are you good with this, Soul?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, guys, take it away. This is Big Play Ray and Soul.
Give me 1 sec to pull up the. All right, cool. Ray, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any money.
You gotta lay low, Frank.
Mother's laying down. She's in a lot of pain. I got her a lot of pills.
He thinks he's trying to kill everybody. You really gotta lay low, Frank.
Men have always had men. Da Vinci, Abe Lincoln, the guy from Hogan's Heroes. Choose a gender. Find someone who wants to sleep with you, preferably for free.
But he wants to kill you. I don't want him going to juvie. Hey, this is bad, Frank.
Bad? What's happening to my mother is bad. Very, very bad. Dying is bad. Try your best to avoid it, son.
All right. So we went up on a couple lines and you stayed in character. And so I'm very happy that you didn't break character. I don't know where Ray went. Bring him back in.
Oh, man. Yeah, we messed
There
up.
we go. So you didn't break character, and a lot of new actors do. They're like, they get freaked out because you didn't have your feeder line that we talked about, and you're like, but you stayed in. So good job there. We never break character. We go until the director says cut or the casting director says cut, no matter what. You could be 100 miles off course. Don't cut yourself ever, and you didn't. We're gonna do it one more time, and then I'm gonna let our coaches.
I couldn't read the handwriting in the picture.
It's okay.
Super
Don't
small,
worry.
so yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm not blaming you for anything. I threw you under the bus and you rose to the occasion. But this is good training because we get all different types of readers and actors that we work with on stage. And so we need to be responsible for ourselves. We know our intention, our reason, and our conflict. We know how to raise the stakes, and we know all the 16 steps that we do, and we know what it's like to be on stage in the moment. And we don't know what's going to happen, like being on the field in the NFL. We don't know what's going to happen. We can practice a play forever and ever, and it may never play out that way. But we know what our goal is. And it's the same thing in acting. Your character has an intention. And no matter what, you're going to achieve that intention. All right. Don't get reedy. Don't get sing-songy. Don't find the same rhythm in your voice. And I know our coaches are going to talk about that. And also, you keep looking down to your script, and that's called windshield wiping. So move your script in the center if it's possible, or drag it if it's on your computer, because you want the focus to stay more centered. This is windshield wiping. Okay. If your script's way over here and you're looking over here and you're coming back, move your script. Right? Okay. Just basic technique in cold reading. And cold reading's brutal. It's hard. It's a whole art form in itself. I'm going to give you guys one more chance.
Yeah.
Pick up the tempo a little more.
Yeah.
And don't act. Don't try to be an actor trying to get a job.
Right.
Your mother's dying. Your mother's dying. What does that do to you? This punk kid that's your son is talking crap to you because he had a gay experience, and you could care less if he was sleeping with animals because your mother's dying. So you're like, just shut up, kid. Just shut up. And then you have a moment that you connect with them. Find the beats that Lex talked about. Find the moments that stay in the moment and ride the wave as it unfolds. Don't try to get to the end. We're not racing there. Okay, you get my points. Lots of little things I'm throwing at you, but let's give you one more shot. This is the callback. Let's see what happens. Take me out, and let's do it one more time.
I don't have any money.
You gotta lay low, Frank.
Mother's laying down. She's in a lot of pain. I got her a lot of pills.
He thinks you're going to tell everybody what you saw.
Why do you care so much what people think? Men have always had men. Da Vinci, Abe Lincoln, the guy from Hogan's Heroes. Choose a gender. Find someone who wants to sleep with you, preferably for free.
But he wants to kill you. I don't want him going to juvie. Hey, this is bad, Frank.
Juvie? You think that's bad? What's happening to Mother is bad. Very, very bad. Dying is bad. Try your best to avoid it, son.
All right. Did you feel the difference when you started to connect at the very end?
Yeah.
You started to let go, and you started to like ride the wave. If I started you now, that's where you start. Emotionally connected. All right, I'm going to give it to our coaches. Let's go to Lex and then Bentley. Get me out, and we can get Soul out because Soul's our reader.
All right, nice adjustments there. You know, you took what Tony said and you really put it to work right off the bat. I would say you could still, dig deeper with the different beats, and then relax a little bit into it. Let it get into more like a natural state. But when I say natural state, it doesn't mean just kind of go bland with it. It means like remember what the emotional content is. Like what emotions are you feeling towards the person you're speaking to? Like how do you feel about the relationship you have with that person? And then what they're saying making you feel? You don't even have to know what the dialogue is, you just, you could put little notes next to the lines like, okay, I'm feeling this way, offended. I'm feeling like it doesn't matter what they're saying because there's much bigger fish in this scene, the mother dying. How are you going to have compassion for what they're talking about? There's a lot of different emotional beats. And I know I've said beats before, but, little change ups that you can have throughout it. They can be subtle. They don't have to be like big, drawn out, dramatic changes. It's not like you're going to be offended and then, compassionate in a big, super shift, but you can make those subtle and let the performance hold those beats. And you'll see that it'll even change up to another level. Don't worry about having to perform it. Think about like, how are you feeling about those things? Yeah. And I think it'll improve it, tenfold, but you already did. And that one little, you got a couple notes from Tony and it improved tenfold in that 1 second. And so you take those notes that I just gave you and just like, what's the emotions behind this? And then you can internalize those a little bit to make it not as broad of a performance. And that'll give you a space to go within for some of the lines that maybe are a little more heartfelt. And then when you have angrier lines, you might be able to express them a little more passionately. And it'll create a dynamic, almost like if you're writing a song, you don't want to have the same kind of vibe the entire song. You want to have dynamics. You want instruments to drop out a little bit. You want to have the beat carry it, but you want to have things, the chorus is like when it's big and then it goes down again for the verse and then it starts to build again. And then you got the bridge, which is an unexpected piece that you don't know is coming. And it's the same thing with the emotions. You can treat those, how you sprinkle them into the dialogue, and you can have those peaks and valleys in the performance without trying to just like perform one level of the whole thing. But I think you got to, if you stay with that scene a little bit, and you can probably mold it into something pretty powerful. Good job.
Good job. Great words, Ray. Wise words. Bentley, you got any time?
Yeah. Let me. I don't have a lot, but let me give you my quick thoughts on that. I think what Lex is saying is good, for sure. But I wanted to hit you with a totally different aspect of it, Ray. The thing that I think is partly missing, and I've seen you for a couple Wednesdays now. One of the things that I think would help you a lot is owning this thing and knowing that you're a pro and you got this acting thing. Stop waiting for us to tell you how to do it. Stop waiting for us to say you're good or you're bad, and just own it. Like when you were playing football, it's a difference if you were trying to get the approval of the coach, or when you step in there and like, I'm going to make a big play because I'm the shit. I got this. I'm going to do it. And I think that if you take like the notes that Lex is talking about and the stuff that Tony, and you did a great adjustment, like they said, but if you take these notes and you come back at this thing with that attitude of, I'm going to make a big play and I know what I'm doing and I'm a pro, and you have confidence behind your choices, and just go for it, man. Like, go for it. I feel, excuse me, I feel like one of the things that's holding you back is you. It's like you not having 100% confidence in what you're doing. You're waiting for us to give you the go ahead. You're waiting for us to say it's good. You're waiting for us to say it's good. You've got to be saying it, and you've got to be believing it, because I think you know the experience of being big play, Ray. You know the experience of being in pros. You know the experience and the difference of confidence when you make a play or if you're making it for approval. Okay. And take that experience and put it a little bit into what you're doing, and just kind of sit with that for a little bit and go, I got this. I got this. You were a quarterback. You know that feeling of I got this, even when it's 4th and 23 and you got to make the big play. You got this. You got to be there. I got this shit. This is what I do for a living. I got this. And that's what I'd like to see, the confidence in your soul when you come in and do these scenes, because I think you have a lot of good instincts. And the one thing that's holding you back is in a way, your belief in yourself that you got this. Now, that's on top of the other stuff that Lex and Tony have been saying. The adjustment's good. Your work is good. I think you got this. I want you to think you got it, brother.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very wise words, Ray. You got a lot today. You got a lot to work on.
Oh yeah.
So you're making huge growth. I mean, your trajectory is huge. So stick with it. Keep taking the privates, and I'm just watching you grow each week. Okay. Let's go to Theron real quick. Theron, any comments on what you witnessed? We're going to wrap up the show with a little bit of music, and then we're going to call it a night, guys. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the wise words. But Theron, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. How you doing?
Good. Any comments on what you witnessed today?
Yeah, I thought that this was an amazing experience for my first time being involved in here. I thought, from what I saw with the acting, everybody did an amazing job. Even from like seeing what Ray presented, saying his skill set and getting to the top and like just displaying what he has to offer. I think he has a lot to show for it, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing like what he's able to land. Actually, hold on, let me show my video now that I'm home. Hey,
there he is.
There
he is. Good to see you, brother.
So, yeah, no, but hey, great job, man. And even well, I'm sorry, what was the gentleman? Was
Kevin Gallagher?
Yes, Kevin. Yeah, that was an amazing fat bastard impersonation, man. I thought he did an amazing job, even with his performance with that. I thought it was great that even for yourself, Tony, like you encouraged him to like, I guess, do it a second time, because the first time you said you saw how he was pretty much like not comfortable in a sense. So like, I'm pretty much like, I'm sorry, hold on one quick second. Yeah, sorry about that. I got a lot going on.
That's all good. That's all good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I thought that you did an amazing job just trying to get him comfortable with the second time going in, and then he was able to, basically deliver a better performance for the second time around. So, and just from everyone else, like just the work I've seen, and with there's just so much talent around in your class, man. So that's why I'm just so honored to be part of the classroom. So, those were pretty much my takeaways from tonight's.
We're glad you're here. We'll say a little something about Dom, and then we're gonna wrap it up with some music from Dom, and maybe Soul, you're gonna play something for us. So make sure you
Yeah, I'll sing. Yeah, absolutely.
Good. So we'll finish up with a little critique on Dom, and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Any comments there on?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Any comments on Dom, our stage director?
Oh, comments on Dom. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dom. I thought Dom did well, even with everything he had to give. I think from what I realized when I think it was driving, Dom was doing all the technical stuff as well too with the class, right? Yep. So yeah, so like and thank you for playing all the links and stuff. I thought Dom was amazing with just the technicalities, what he was doing with that. So I didn't I don't think I got a chance to actually see part of his performance here, but from what I did capture when I walked through the door and got settled in, I thought from what I saw was pretty good too. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys coming. The only thing we can't give you back is your time, and when you spend it with us, we're very grateful. So, all right, that wraps up the show, the official show. Now we're going to do a little bit of music and wrap it up, call it a night, and we'll see you guys either tomorrow on the new WAA World Acting Academy stage, or back here next week on the Boldy School of Acting Wednesday weekly showcase. So what are you doing for us, Soul?
I'm going to sing a little Bob Marley, just chorus and a bridge, and then I'll sing a chorus of a song that I wrote a few months ago.
Okay, take it away. Big round of applause, Soul.
Bear with me, y'all. I'm in Virginia, out of LA, so there's a different type of allergy situation out here. Okay. I hear the word of the Rastaman say, Babylon, your throne going down, going down. Babylon, your throne going down. I say I hear the word of the higher man say, Babylon, your throne going down, going down. Babylon, your throne going down. I say fly away home to Zion, fly away home. Okay, so it's a little Bob Marley. And then a little bit of a song that I wrote a few months ago, like a new age reggae song would be, let's see. One unity, one time for the lost and free, one time for unity and humanity's destiny. So yeah, that's just a little blip.
Thank you, Solomon. You have multiple names as well. How many names do you have? I always mess with Cedric because he has so many names, but you have multiple.
Swami by title, Soul by stage name, Solomon by name.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. That's something I cannot do, is I cannot sing. So anybody that's willing to sing on this stage, I'm just honored to have you do it. And thank you for sharing some of your private work with us. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up now with you, and we're going to go to Dom. Dom's going to do a little short musical interlude. He always takes up like 10 minutes.
Interlude. I play the Grateful Dead. We don't have short songs here, okay? We have
you just
we have 30-minute jams, man.
Trim it, and then go into the credit roll, and we're going to say bye to our guests. All right, so little love here, and then I may talk over you while you're playing to our guests. Okay, so just be prepared. I may interrupt you.
Stay quick while I'm just pulling this stuff up so I'm ready after this. Thank you, guests, for coming. Thank you for being here. You're all awesome.
Thank you, Dom.
And let's go into the group view, Dom. I like watching their response. So let's go group view for this.
Thanks, Dom. Thanks, Tony.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me turn on my original sound so we don't have.
Are we on group view, Dom?
Yes, we are. Doctor about what I had. I said, now, doctor, Mr. MD, you can tell me what's ailing me. He said, yeah. All I really need is good love. You got to have love, good love. Yeah. So come on, baby. Oh, squeeze me tight. Don't you want your daddy to feel alright? I said, now, baby. Oh, that's for sure. I got the fever. You got the cure. He said, yeah. It's good love. Oh, you got to have love, good love. Got to have
guys, big round of applause for Dom, our stage director, as he plays us out. I want to thank Lex for being here tonight, and Bentley always coming back, and Theron. You guys are always welcome on either stage. Hopefully we'll work with you on some of my projects. Soul, Big Play Ray, Kevin Gallagher. I'm Teacher Tony, and that's another night here at BSA Live. We'll see you guys next week. Keep watching. Go ahead and cue exit video, and we'll see you guys soon. And those of you wondering, those were all of our guests and students from season 1. That's what that credit roll was, season 1. All right, this is WAA brought to you by, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey guys, it's Kendall. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please make sure you check out our BSA channel and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We're clear. That's a wrap.
We'll see ya.